And here we are, Keith, Sunday. Sunday here at Laurel Park. Welcome to Today at the Races. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track and what we've got going on for this 10 race card that we have going on for Sunday, Keith. But hopefully it stays warm like this.
It's warm. It's going to stay warm. We've got a chance of showers later in the card. Looks around 3 or 4 o'clock. Looks like the tough spot. Hopefully we can get through this car with any rain. The rain last night, though, got us off the turf today, unfortunately.
Yep.
Main track, fast, staying fast. Off the turf today. We've got a few races scheduled for the turf. We'll go through those scratches with you, but good race cards yesterday, and Sheldon Russell. Nobody hotter than Sheldon Russell yesterday.
Absolutely. Sheldon Russell getting all 3 of those stakes. We'll give you a nice little snippet of that in a bit at the end of the show. But let's talk about that 10 race card day here. In the start of that early pick 5, of course, in this maiden claiming 12-5, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old girls. Keith, you have the number 7 on top. Jane Street, a first-time starter here for Carrie Holbein, gets Gianavello in the saddle.
A little flyer here. The 1 is going to take a slew of play, already even money. It might stay right around there. I had 9-5, thinking some of the money might come on the 6 Zolatone turf to dirt in a big drop for the Russell barn. But, yeah, Thunderboss looks like the main speed, but she better hadn't missed a beat from the inside. I go 7, Jane Street, a 5-year-old firster. Very patient, but they do the right thing, start towards the bottom. And you got the big beast. This stallion is okay, 20% first-time starters overall. 3 winners in the family. 2 of them ran second in debut. And I think one of those was like a 10-time winner and a 5-time winner. So there's a lot of wins in this family. Works seem forward. Carrie Holbein got off the schneid there with Magic Mule of Pimlico. Just a little shot at a price. But the breeding suggests win early, but maybe not at 5, but maybe early on in a 5-year-old career.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I like that 12-1 morning line price. So a nice value on Jane Street with the sire Big Beast, 20% with his first-time starters. You have the 1 underneath for fun on the rail. This is a Thunderboss, of course, Rudy Sanchez Salmon. Angel Cruz, your 9-5 favorite morning line.
Like kind of a lateral move here at that $16,000 level. I think that equates. Numbers have gone in the right direction. A lot of tries, 0 for 13. We've got a good story, 0 for 16. Tipsy Tourist, a lot of tries. So I got to go a little bit out of the box. Horses that maybe haven't shown they don't want to win. So we're going to go with a 7, Zolatone, a big drop. 40% with this kind of move is Brittany Russell over the last few years. So chase that quick pace, a little bit of a, it wasn't a blazing pace, but chased it, a little bit of a fade. The dirt might pick this one's head up. So I go 7, 6, 1, 3. Not in love with anybody, but if you're going to take a little shot, I'd go with that firster.
There's his value in the first-time starter in the number 7, Jane Street for Carrie Holbein. Race number 2 does kick off that early pick 4, Keith. Per usual, you've got that pick 4 ticket structure. No singles. It's been a theme.
Yeah, it's been a theme.
That's all right.
I thought I had one when I sent it earlier in the Phil. The problem was the single was going to be in the 6th race. So,
right.
Phil, thanks for your patience. I do that a lot of times, but we got too deep to get you started. Race 2 with the 1 and the 8 Loving Cup and Synergies Electra. Scratch the 3, 4, 7, and 9. Take out 3, 4, 7, and 9 in race number 2. We're going to go to the main track at 5.5 for that one. Race 3, scratch the 3 and the 6. I'm going to concentrate around the 1, Love That You Bye-Bye, and the 7, Glorious Mahomes. 3 deep in race number 4. Another one off the turf, main track at a mile. Scratch the 1, 2, 3, 4. 10, 11, 12 out of race number 4. I'll go 5, 8, 9. Sullivan Street, I'd like to see an aggressive ride there. Caramanos up to the front. Race 5, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Good race. Up-and-comer, our Liberty Bell, 2 for 2 since being transferred to the main track. Does have to run a little bit faster as the rivalry is renewed here between Happy Clouds and Liquidator. $24 for that early pick 4 ticket.
And that early pick 4 does start in race at number 2 in this claiming for 40,000, which have never won 2 for the girls, 3 and up going. Now 5.5 on the dirt. Scratch the 3 Clouds of White, the 4 Melapanini B, the 7 Golden Heart, and the 9 Diva Ready. Keith, you have the number 1, the Rail Horse on top. Loving Cup for Hugh McMahon gets William Humphrey and returns back to the dirt. We'll see if this one likes the off going.
Yeah, I like the whole position here. I didn't mind the race in return, and I think I like her maybe a little bit better on the dirt, especially in this spot. I think she's got positional speed, can go ahead and stalk Pojibansi, or Bucky is going to go, I think, the 5. Beat a softer group. Numbers okay, but I think Loving Cup, you look at the company she kept on the dirt. My Flicker, forget about it. These are two other than allowance type horses. Much better. I think a good position, a good break. We stalk, we move into it, we get it done in race number 2. Synergies Electra. I think the closing tactics, sprinting, are going to work. Again, comes out of a race against multiple winners back in here in the 2 in life. That works for me. 1-8-8-1 in race number 2. Give the 1 a little bit better shot, though.
And he goes 1-8-2-5 in race number 2 to kick off that early pick 4. Race number 3 in that second leg is a Claiming 10,000, which have never won 2, going 6 furlongs on the dirt as intended. Scratch the 3 Barb's Pride, scratch the 6 Irish Warlock. You and I end up with Love You Bye Bye for Tom McMahon. It gets Angel Cruz in the saddle, a winner last time out in that first one.
Yeah, he's pretty quick. You know, got the victory in his 12th start. Rode kind of the grain of the racetrack. Was with the bias, I thought. June the 9th at Laurel. Speed there was good. Sends again from the inside. I don't know. Barb's Pride, who scratched, I thought was going to be part of that early pressure. I think with a good break, Love You Bye Bye can handle a little pressure, keep going. Glorious Mahomes, I like in here. Second off the break. You know, ran into a really blistering pace last time. I think the flow is not going to be as dangerous here. Can be able to kind of sit there and stay around. We'll see if he can edge by, but I think Love You Bye Bye, the road's got to go through him in race 3. The 5 Urban Bandit, good, kind of improving here, I believe, for Figgins. Should be able to drop in, save ground, looking for that pace to develop. A pretty good kick last time out.
As Keith Fusela goes 1-7-5-4 there in the second leg of the early pick for the third leg in race number 4 is a maiden Claiming 20,000 and off the turf event, now a 1-turn mile on the dirt. For the girls, 3-5, and we have quite a few scratches in here. The 1 Irish Mage, the 2 Always Forward, the 3 Busy, the 4 Time Goes Fast, the 10 Wicked Kitten, the 11 No Sharing, and the 12 Bring the Magic. And Keith, you think the Magic is going to be on the number 8 Sullivan Street from Mary Epler, gets Horacio Caramanos returning back off of that effort, back from May over at Delaware on the turf event.
Yeah, just remember, 13 is in. Race 4 draws in as a slew of other scratches, unfortunately, off the turf. But, yeah, Sullivan Street. We're going to go with that. Did we have a video for that one? I might have checked that one off earlier. Now I wish I would have had it. This horse was really boxed in for a long, long time on the turf at Delaware. Gets back to there, a couple okay tries. I'm looking at this field. As I said earlier, Caramanos, I'd like to see an aggressive ride because I think with this type of group, if she gets the lead, I think she can dig in. She handled the adversity last time and kept going. If she gets the jump on the field, she might be tough to pass through the stretch.
And you have underneath Fashionista for Ferris Allen, a solid one underneath, where she does run in not only not off the turf events, but I think gets back to a distance that I like her at.
Yeah, go back to October in a race that was off the turf here at Laurel on a good track. Fashionista got the better of Sullivan Street. I don't know if she's got as much speed as Sullivan Street if she wants to go. But, yeah, a good effort there. The speed was good that day. She chased and kind of grounded out, third beat in a length and change. Nibbles, Lunarites, that kind of field works against this group. I like her maybe a little bit more as a closing sprinter, but against this group she's going to work. I think with Rodriguez she stays the trip.
Remember the 13 Guz kicked back in. As Keith Fusela goes 8-9-5-13 there in race number 4. And the last leg of the early pick 4 does start. However, the Rainbow pick 6, and that has a nice little carryover, 13,984. That's almost 14 grand. If you just pump up the math really quickly, that'll surely be over 14 grand by the time we get into race number 5. Just giving you, so I went super simple with my ticket structure today, just with some of these fields in the later card. Still keeping a little bit of structure within themselves, but I go too deep here. Race 5, 2, 6. Really, race 8 was the one that caught my attention. I go 3, 5, 8 in that event. Excuse me as I scroll. In that allowance, I was tied. This is a Salzman show here in that restricted allowance now off of the turf event. You have to keep that up. Race 9 I'm looking forward to. Youngest of 5, Hello Hot Rod. Wow. Youngest of 5 finally getting some good trips now. Was just clouded throughout all of 2022 and a bit of 2021 with just a lot of rough trips. And then I'm intrigued by that first-time starter for Cal Lynch in the last, so I go 8-9, a $28.80 El Cheapo ticket to start off the Rainbow Pick 6, and it does kick off in this nice allowance optional Claiming 62.5.
Yeah.
For the straight 3-year-old, 6 furlongs on the dirt. And hey, we have another race between Liquidator and Happy Clouds. We both end up with Happy Clouds on top for Anthony Ferrier and Arnaldo Bocachica.
Yeah, these two are close. They're tough to split. Liquidator gutted it out last time out. Looked like Happy Clouds was going to go by. I'm interested. Liquidator 0 for 5 at the distance. Happy Clouds 3 for 7. And again, I'm not a huge, weight guy. But there's a 6-pound shift if it looks like when you break it all down out of this race. I like the positioning of the 6 today. With Liquidator inside, Hide Right Away might try to go and drop it, might make things a little uncomfortable. We'll see. That opening 3/16 of a mile is going to be critical for Liquidator to get positioned, but she's shown the ability to rate just off of it and move into it. I think Happy Clouds is the beneficiary there. We'll be able to start and get it done here at 3/4. Horse that's up and coming to me is going to be the 4, Our Liberty Bell. I think this is one we've got a video on.
We
2
do.
for 2 since Trombetta has moved this one from the synthetic surface to the dirt. Has got a win at Pimlico, just won over here at Laurel on June the 11th. And interesting type. I mean, gets a little bit of help up front, but I think this pace is going to be honest as well today. Sustains under early pressure. Callie as a rider, do you just get horses sometimes that if you shove them in early, they just don't keep going? Because this one does. This one is able to handle when getting put to that drive at the 3/8, can prolong that run.
It's a big conversation, and it's especially at this circuit. I think it's something that a lot of riders can get really kind of hot on the energy on. So they do. They end up pressing early. They end up asking early. So as you mentioned, this filly being able to withstand that says a lot about her. You said it, up and coming. It was one of the first things that I noticed about this filly. So I agree with you. Was asked a little bit early and was able to just continue on with that and thrived off of that. So when you're talking about that, you also need to know your horse and need to know when to ask them at the right time. And sometimes they do need to be asked a little bit early. So it's always it's a bit of a both situations, a case-by-case scenario and overall trend on typical.
Yeah, she's able to do it. And again, the pace should be honest. Hide Right Away, I think, is going to go ahead and go. Really kept on trying last time. I think the shortening back up is good. If this one is able to clear without much pressure that opening quarter, she is going to go longer than what she did last time here at the 6 ring. 6-3-2-4 in race number 5.
And we will be right back for the rest of Sunday's card here after this commercial break.
And they're off.
Welcome back. We come in on a good race after this commercial break, Keith. We start off in that jackpot. Super high 5, nice little carryover, 11,237. And it is in the one and the only race number 6. And it is in this restricted allowance for the girls. Originally on the turf, now 5.5 on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. And let me list off the scratches that we do have in this race. The number 5, Peace Out. The number 6, Next Episode. The number 8, Brushing. The number 9, Island Philo. And the number 10, Pounding Music. The 11 runs, Keith. And that's exactly who you have in your top selection. Ladies Zeta for Jamie Neskitz, Jamie Rodriguez, of course, in the saddle morning line, 9 to 5.
Clearly a difference in class right now, what she's been running against. The optional 2 other than back into a state-bred or state-sired allowance, or kind of a restricted race. 5.5 here gets what they wanted. I mean, it comes off the turf onto the main track, and if it, this post time's right around 3 and that rain starts and this track gets off, the breeding just tremendous for the off track. I think with a clean break, she gets to the front. Nessa's got this one right. She goes ahead and controls it in race. It's going to be an awfully short price.
It will be. Well, let's talk about seeing if we can get maybe a bit of value in your exacta with summer odds for Diana McCord, Bryson Butterfly. Again, another one that does enjoy a potential off track if we get there. Check your radars, guys.
I wonder if the move, she was a little too close last time and moved a little too early and just kind of didn't quite sustain. Like, she's able to come from a little bit further back. Will she get the pace help, though? I don't know if anybody can really press Lady Zeta, so she's going to need to just be patient, sit. It's one of these situations where, again, as a rider, if you kind of go try to win, it might cost you second. You might run third. So tricky situation. Going to have to time the run just right if she's going to be able to run down a Lady Zeta.
We'll see if Bryson Butterfly rides his race on summer odds there in that jackpot super high 5. Keith Fusel goes 11-3. For 1. Race number 7 is a 5.5 on the dirt, as intended, though. This is an allowance optional claiming 62.5, but just for the straight 3-year-olds this time instead of the girls. Let's go ahead and talk about the horse that will probably be taking a lot of money. It's going to be a bit of a match race, question mark, but Johnny Z from Albany on the outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at this Phil Capuano starter with Georgie Ruiz on top.
Yeah, he better have his running shoes on, and he did. May the 19th off the break at Pimlico. That was first time Lasix. Gets the lead and goes very quick, 22 and 3, 44 and change against a quality group. Cloud Music, who's chasing, has gone on for Nest to run a couple big races. Fort Warren was the west to east coast, right? They came and got it done. And Heldish came back to run a 77 Buyer, winning at Monmouth Park. Johnny Z from Albany, I don't think he's going to need to lead. If Pompous Prince wants to go, he can sit. But I think he will separate top of the stretch. But we've got some horses that are definitely on the improve. A talented runner in the one rebellious stage. He only has one race under his belt, but showed a lot of talent there, overcoming a little bit of a hop at the break, let his leader go on, shifted out, made a couple moves, and drew away eagerly. He's going to have to improve a little bit more, but I think that's well within his scope. I go 7-6-1, Great Heavens. We talked about this one last time on the show, Cal, about impressive debut, but with the breeding, 7/8 was probably going to be a touch too much, and it was. Shortening back to 5.5, a chance to just sit and be a little bit patient. It's going to make the run a little bit stronger for this one under Forest Boys.
Great Notion also doing well on the off-track progency, 18% with that. So Keith Fustel goes 7-6-1-5 there in race number 7. Race number 8, an off-the-turf event in this restricted allowance, going 5.5 on the dirt now for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 1, Buoy 2-step. Scratch in the 2, Fun Notion. Scratch in the 4, Be Determined. Scratch in the 7, Sue Loves Barbados. And scratch in the 9, Kobe Tough. And you have Lad Needs a Handler. The MTO coming in for Tim Salzman. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call.
You called it the Salzman Show, right?
It is the Salzman Show in this race.
And it's interesting because they both have similar running styles. It looks like they want to be close. Running River has a good race over that off track if you're kind of looking at that. I think Lad Needs a Handler, just maybe a little bit more seasoned, run against a little bit tougher competition, back to his home track, off the try at Monmouth Park, a little bump at the break, Vide and backed up. I think, he can run fast. He can take pressure. He keeps going, and I like his positioning on the outside of Running River. But Royal Spy, for me, if things really ramp up, that's the legitimate closer in here. I gave Sue Love Barbados a shot. He's out. But if you're looking for somebody to make that rolling run, the last eighth of a mile, high and outside, it might be Royal Spy.
That horse might be coming in at a price as well. So I like that in your exacta, Keith, as you go 8-6-5-3 in that potential Salzman Show. We'll see what happens there in the 8th, but let's get to the 9th here in this allowance optional 55, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 1, Witty, who ran yesterday, and scratch in the 8, Tappin' Cat. You have the number 4 on top, Holy Synchronicity. Let's go ahead. Let's roll that reel on Keith's favorite horse here in Maryland.
He's certainly becoming one of my favorites. And you know what? He's paired up a couple good races here in a row where he's kind of been all over the map when you watch it, but he puts it all together against a solid 2 other than field. That was Swill on the lead, the horse that was coming in for Brittany Russell off the real long layoff. Another horse makes the challenge. That was Synergy's Energy, got the lead. Just sustains, caught wide every step of the way. Look at him going to the wire. Drops inside here a little bit today with some speed to target. Chateau back in the woods, even youngest of 5, full authority when he's right, presses. He might be just now at the peak of his form and get a chance, a little bit of a price again to sneak up and get this one from a few lengths off the pace. Top of the stretch home. I don't want to see him quite as far back. He's got to be no more than 3 out of it, I think, at the quarter pole if he's going to run down this group. But I think he holds value in race number 9. Quality Field. Chateau's a horse quick for Jacobson. He's had some excuses. He may be the speed of the speed. It's been a long time for a win, but I think he gets tangled up back in the woods and youngest of 5. I think there's a conversion somewhere around the turn. You've got the 3 on top. I think the 3 is a definite use. I'll let you talk about Hello Hot Rod.
It's pretty straightforward. This one having only 1 try on the wet dirt because I'm going to be taking a look at the radar. Earlier I was just kind of guessing that we might be on a bit of a track with moisture on it, so that's immediately what I went off of, and then I go and refer back to that allowance first time in the barn of Brittany Russell. So it made a really strong lead to begin with in that race. So kind of just, I think, petered out a little bit from that effort. So if we take a similar approach, but now what I like even better is that you take a look at that last run. Was able to mature, was able to sit off of in a stalking position and be able to make something happen once they got to the top of the stretch. So for me, that's my play, Keith. I always love a horse with some type of versatility to him.
Yeah, he's showing it, no doubt about it. I think he'll be able to save ground every step of the way and then work out that trip. Youngest to 5, a touch ranked last time. He's a battler. You got to like this guy, what he brings to the table. He's another one that's going to be part of that flow. This is a really good race number 9. I'm just trying, reaching for my buddy, Holy Synchronicity. He owes me, again, no money whatsoever to rally into this flow because it's going to be a good one.
As Keith Fusel goes 4-3-2-6 there in race number 9. And our nightcap of the weekend is going to be here in this maiden special weight, originally on the turf, but now 5.5 on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratch the 2, Elon. Scratch the number 3, Fire Knives. Scratch the number 5, Mo Money Mo Betta. Scratch the number 6, Sig. Scratch the 7, Street Rod. And scratch the 10, Lunar Dash. Keith, you have the number 9 on top. Iron Ranger for Cal Lynch gets Georgie Rui in the saddle here today. A first-time starter on the outside.
Yeah, we know freestanding for Brittany's going to take us just a ton of play. Didn't like the fact, it was 7-1 today. Couldn't last at 5.5 at Delaware on the front end by 3. A little chase and a fade against the next out winner. Has faced a couple next out winners. Freestanding, going to be short. But again, Cal Lynch comes with a 3-year-old, first-time starter. He's got a positive ROI with this kind of move. Looked at the breeding. It's a lot of turf. So gives me a little hope, though, that they take it off the turf. He's keeping them here. So I'll take the shot. A first-out trainer we can trust. 9.814 surprise hello. I think it might show a little bit better speed on the turf and last a little bit longer, but in this shorter field will get put into the race early by Butterfly. 9.889. These look like the two everybody's going to concentrate around in race number 10.
I agree with you, Keith. In fact, I did make a typo. Just want to note I did make a typo. I do have the number 9 on top as well for all of the aforementioned reasons that you have. So Keith Fusel goes 9.814. And Keith, let's dig into lightning round. Let's dig into a couple of these plays that you have, like in your best bet. Let's go early. Let's rewind it back into race 2, the number 1 Loving Cup as your best bet of the day.
Yeah, again, it would have worked either way. Loving Cup, turf or dirt. We go to the dirt, and her form is just proven against much, much better. Horses that have gone to run competitively, win the A other than, and been competitive in the 2 other than. Forget about it. Might even be 1 or 2 other than. I have to check. My flicker right there. So that's good enough for me. Gets position early. I think Kieran's horse will go, but I think this one can stalk and pounce.
And let's also talk about your value play, of course. Holy Synchronicity in the 9th. A nice value potentially there for Keith Fusel's value play of the day.
Been a zig and a zag kind of horse for a while. I like. He's maturing a little bit. I know he's 4, but his last 2 give me hope he can make that next step. This is the big one into that 3 other than competition.
And before we sign off here and we switch you over to Dave Rodman, we wanted to highlight, of course, Sheldon Russell taking in all of the dough yesterday. 275,000 in purses, in our stakes purses, all went to Sheldon Russell in his wins yesterday. And we are going to give you a little bit of highlight of all 3 of those, and then we will let Dave Rodman take care of you guys. But for now, we will, and Dave Rodman and I are going to see you Thursday, and Keith, we will see you next Friday for today at the races.
And Sheldon, I like it. All 3 wins, different kind of styles. From the back with coconut cake, value play, a little plug for us, right? Callie at a pretty good price. On the front end with 4 Heart, right? On the turf.
Yes.
And what was the third one?
The
Prince
third
of Jericho.
one.
Yeah, that big horse there in the barn.
The one we
just stalking that
expected
3
from him
wide, kind of
anyway.
a little bit closer. That was an odd race. It looked like he was kind of spinning his wheels there top of the stretch, but he kicked it on late and won, kind of going away though. But congrats to Sheldon, a very, very good rider, very talented. And we also saw a good firster yesterday, Tupi, that 2-year-old for Grand Motion. Took that play early and often it stayed there, and he got it done drawing away by 8. But let's watch the Sheldon show.
Let's watch this as we dive off. We will go to Dave Rodman after this, but take it away with the Sheldon Show. See you guys next Thursday. This is not only your 3rd win of the day, but your 3rd stakes win of the day. You won the Jamila, you won the Laurel Dash, and you won the Concern. What a day to have. Talk a little bit about before that day leading up to it. Did you expect this kind of day today?
Yeah, when the overnight came out, I knew Marty had got my agent, had got me on some decent live mounts. We've got some really good trips today, so very fortunate, very blessed that these owners and trainers are still giving me the opportunities. And, 3 stakes wins today is a huge day, and just very, very grateful.
And you're going to have a good rest of your day with your family today to celebrate it. And big time congratulations, Sheldon, to wrap things up here in the Concern Stakes with Prince of Jericho for a 3 stake win day win here with Sheldon Russell.